And welcome back to Age Group Stories. I'm Dave Erickson here at the 2013 Oriad Ironman 70.3 Kansas, and I have one of the athletes racing this weekend. What is your name and where are you from?
Ray Verlinde, Highlands Ranch, Colorado.
All right. So, Ray, what is your triathlon story? How'd you get involved in this sport?
Well, I had a friend, a neighbor, who was a sponsored athlete that was the next door neighbor to mine up in Vail, Colorado, and he got me in. He started doing them early on, and he had interest. He kept interesting me in wanting to do it. So eventually, I encouraged me to go out and try one.
Which one did you do first?
Well, I did the half Ironman in Hawaii in Kona.
That was your first one?
That was my first one ever. First triathlon ever. I didn't even do a triathlon prior to that, so it was my first ever anything.
What year was that? And what year was that? And then what is your athletic background?
So that was 2011 when I did that. Athletic background is primarily I've always been a runner, but I got up until just about 3 years ago I didn't do anything but run, and so I eventually bought a bike and started biking first. And I always knew how to swim, but just in the water, I just used to play in the water, never really swam per se in the water. And about 2 years ago, about 6 months before the one in Kona, I decided I would start swimming, for real in the water, and it turned into something, a passion now that I want to do them all the time. So
it's so strange. You start this multi-sport career late in life, and you take up swimming, you take up cycling. How has it changed you, maybe your attitude and your health?
Yeah, it just total change, total transformation. I've always been thin, but in terms of the strength of my core and so forth, and being able, I love to eat, being able to eat whatever I want, whenever I want, as well as just enjoying. I just enjoy the athletic competition. I like being around athletes that are in great conditioning, that condition themselves well, and makes you feel well. I mean, it gives you more energy. It doesn't, most people think, working out, well, you're tired all the time. Well, it actually gives you more energy, in my opinion, than being tired. So.
Well, what are some of the races you've done since?
So I did Coeur d'Alene last year. There, yes, and the water was a little cold last year. I think it was about 53 degrees, so it was a little chilly. And so this is the third one I am doing now, which is another half, and then I'm scheduled next month to go to Lake Placid and do the one in Lake Placid. So you did
Hanu for the first time. That was your first triathlon, and then your next triathlon was Ironman Coeur d'Alene?
Yes. The second one was the full Ironman.
And
I haven't done any in between, so.
And now you come here to Kansas.
Yes.
What are your goals and objectives here?
Really to beat my time. I mean, so it's all about beating my previous times. And so my first time 2 years ago, I barely made it from the swim perspective. The water was a bit rough that year. They had a typhoon in the South Pacific that was stirring the water up. So the waves were, about 3 feet waves in the ocean. And so I think I swam 104, and it was 115 was the cutoff for that. So I made it just by 11 minutes, the cutoff. Did better on my bike and then better on my swim. I think I finished in like 7 hours and 20-some minutes, 27 minutes probably. So I'd like to do this one. My goal would be under 7 hours. If I can do it that, I'd be very pleased. So, yeah.
Any advice to someone out there who's maybe hasn't taken on this sport yet, maybe later in life, and what kind of advice would you give them?
Well, everything's achievable, I think, as long as you take it in baby steps. You can't, although this was the first Ironman, when I came out, this was the first triathlon was an Ironman, a half Ironman. I trained for it. I took and was religious on 20 weeks of very solid training. Because if you just try to go out without a lot of training, you'd probably hurt yourself. So you want to, go through the training, go through the 20 weeks, and try it out for, because there's a lot of times you think that you're out of breath the whole time. Well, there's a lot of times when you could be walking in it and you still can finish it. It's just a matter of trying to reach your goals and being able to shoot for it. And I think if you have the desire to try to achieve something that you couldn't achieve, this is a great possibility to one of these would be one of those that you can check off your bucket list, if you would. So.
Well, it seems like you have a great attitude for this. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.